This is MSC.
Welcome back to the Target Center, just moments away from the start of tonight's game. But before we're ready for the opening tap, let's give a listen to tonight's national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose bright stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red red, the most bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Home game number 3, looking for the second win of the season. Time now to take a look at MSC's Jeep Eagle Keys of the Game. Brought to you by your Midwest Jeep Eagle dealers. Trent, let's start with the Wolves and what they need to do tonight, maybe what they need to change tonight.
Well, for one, they must shoot the basketball better, and they must continue to dominate the glass, both offensively and defensively.
Yeah, that's been a surprise. Last year, -6 on the boards. This year, +3. So that is the biggest difference. And now, against San Antonio, they go up against a very good combination of an underrated point guard and a great center. So how do they handle those two guys?
Well, they must contain Avery Johnson by keeping him out of the middle of the lane, so where he's so important by creating so many opportunities for his teammates. And David Robinson, like I said, you must double team him as much as possible to get the ball out of his hands and put it into someone else's hands so they can try to beat you.
All right, let's look at some of the matchups, the starting lineups for this game. 4-2 San Antonio, 1-4 Minnesota. The Tires Plus starting lineups brought to you, of course, by Tires Plus. Avery Johnson, Michael Williams, and we talked a little bit about Avery. It's funny how he's bounced around so much. And I mean, he is a rare guy. In fact, he's one of 5 players in NBA history whose scoring is going up the first 7 years.
Avery Johnson is a table setter. He gets everyone else involved in the game. Michael Williams just needs to come out and play good sound basketball and have some fun.
Now, 2 very different players at the off-guard spot. Vinny Del Negro, J.R. Rider, although both guys coming off disappointing performances of late. Vinny, you see, didn't score, and J.R. probably his poorest performance Saturday.
Well, Vinny Del Negro is a spot-up outside shooter for this basketball team, and J.R. Rider is the Wolves' best player.
Sam Mitchell and Sean Elliott. Sean Elliott had a very good season last year, and right now he might be off to his best start ever.
Sean Elliott is off to a great start, and we know how good offensively Sean Elliott can be. He's a big key tonight. Sam Mitchell must pay close attention to him.
Gugliotta came a little bit out of his short shooting slump Friday night and then fell back into it Saturday. And here's the change for the Rockets in their starting line. I mentioned Rockets because this is where Carl Herrera has been his entire career, and now he's with the Spurs.
Carl Herrera is a very good basketball player. I'm surprised that he's starting tonight, but Googs must have a big game for the T-Wolves if they're going to be victorious tonight.
Then in the middle, as we all know by now, Leitner out for another 4 games at least. So Sean Rooks against David Robinson. And it's not like Sean Rooks has never played against David Robinson. It's just knowing how good he is.
Well, Sean Rooks is matched up against a very agile player who can take you outside, and he loves to put the ball on the floor and drive it to the basket. Sean is going to rely on his teammates a lot tonight on the defensive end to help him out.
Bob Hill, you worked under him when he was with the Knicks, second year here with San Antonio. People forget he almost became the Wolves coach last summer instead of Bill Blair.
He's done an excellent job with this San Antonio Spurs team, and losing Dennis Rodman. I asked him how has that helped this basketball club. He said his team now can stay more focused.
Bill Blair, of course, in his second year. Bill's thinking, hey, I'm in the Midwest Division. I haven't played Mutombo yet. Saturday, I get Olajuwon. Tonight, I get David Robinson. So here's the head coach on how he's going to try to contain last year's MVP.
He's more difficult. You almost want to guard him with a 4 because that's basically what David is not a pure low post center per se, like an Elijah one that gets down in there, makes tremendous plays from down in there. David Moore is a step or two off of that. He can pass better from there. He can drive from there with that left hand and drive hard, and he can shoot that 15, to 18-foot jumper. David has improved his shooting tremendously since he's come into the NBA.
Spurs, just some final thoughts from Bob Hill. I think most people by now have heard that the NBA and the referees had another round of meetings today. They failed. They're going to meet again tomorrow, but it looks like, Trent, starting in the middle of December, as you look at Larry Onis and William Kennedy, Larry about to enter your picture, that they're going to go to 3 refs starting in the middle of December, which is the right way to go.
Well, I think they need 3 officials because 2 guys just can't handle all the action that's on the floor.
Is it becoming a crutch, though, for some players that every time a call goes against them, even if it's a pretty good call, they look at the official and say, you shouldn't even be here. This call is going against me for no reason.
No doubt about it, because they're looking at these guys and saying, you are not the top-notch officials, so you don't belong here and you don't know what you're doing.
Nobody has beaten Minnesota more than San Antonio. Now, of course, you have Phoenix and Chicago, 2 teams the Wolves have never beaten. But with San Antonio, you're going to play them 5 or 6 times. So this would be a rare win if it happens this evening.
Well, the T-Wolves need to get off to a good start and establish some confidence early in themselves. And, hey, and prove to themselves we can play with this ball club.
What is more important? To get the offense on track, the outside shooting, or containing Robinson? Which one should we look for more in the first quarter?
I think containing David Robinson early so he don't get off to that great start. But they also must pay close attention to Sean Elliott.
And remember what Michelle said, that this team, San Antonio, lost to Milwaukee last night, and as Robinson went up a little bit early, a lot of people believe you got a better chance playing a team on a back-to-back if they've won the night before.
That's true, because they might come in off that victory not as sharp as they would like to be, but by this team losing last night, they're going to be a little bit more focused.
Here's the key player for Bill Blair in this first quarter, getting Williams on track, and the amigo Carl Herrera with the early block.
Carl Herrera's good, come from the weak side. That was a nice defensive play by Carl Herrera.
I guess Bob Hill knew what he was doing by starting him.
He must have.
Into Elliott, an all-star 1 time in his career, and a strong move, and that's why Sean is off to his best start.
That's a tough matchup for Doug West, because Sean Elliott is one of the premier small forwards in the game. Here he is playing one-on-one basketball with Doug West. He has a little height advantage. He takes him to the lane with a little jump hook, and Sean Elliott is very tough inside.
And here we show you Doug West in that play. This was a late change by the Wolves, going with West in the lineup instead of Sam Mitchell. We had been told even as soon as 15 minutes before the game that it would be Mitchell. So this might have been Bill Blair countering the move by Herrera, even though they played different positions. Gugliana's on track. 1-2 for Googs, 3-2 San Antonio, the early lead.
That's a good start for Tommy, making the outside shot right away.
Benny Del Negro did not score last night against Milwaukee. Tom Gugliotta against David Robinson.
I think the double teams has got to come much quicker than that.
Doug West, another player. Minnesota's looking to get back to what you expect from him. So a nice start. Michael Williams moving the ball pretty good, and now Doug West a chance for the 3-point play.
Doug West is doing what he does best, taking the ball strong to the goal. That was a nice, strong move by Doug West for the 3-point opportunity. Here's David Robinson playing one-on-one basketball. If the T-Wolves are going to contain him, the defense rotation must come quicker.
And now Tom Gugliotta's looking at David Robinson. That's a little bit different from your top-flight power forward. Herrera end-to-end, and Robinson will draw the foul, and Doug thought it was clean.
That was not good defense by the T-Wolves. No way can a power forward drive the ball that far and then drop off a dump pass to a center.
So you're saying the problem was maybe here at the free throw line where nobody came out, and West just has to help out.
Nobody picked him up, and that's inexcusable.
And a second look at the replay shows that the anguish from Doug West might have been right. That might have been an anticipation call.
Well, the official was thinking there's no way that Doug West can block David Robinson's shot.
I say, I've watched these two guys playing up on TV. I know that. I think Doug's probably going to remind him, wait, see what actually happens. This is what's happened to Michael Williams too many times. inside the lane, nowhere to go, and a turnover on Minnesota.
Well, the one cardinal rule is if you leave your feet, you must leave your feet to shoot, not to pass.
Sometimes a little bit different when you have a 7-foot superstar inside altering the shot. Del Negro and Herrera on the left side. 4 years with the Rockets, Carl Herrera. The rebound to Minnesota. Chance with the numbers here, Trent.
They seem to use Herrera against Sean Rooks, and I think San Antonio is going to try to exploit that matchup.
Now here's the difference. Gugliotta guarding Robinson, but at the other end, Herrera's behind him.
Well, they feel Herrera is a pretty good defensive player with some good athletic ability, and he might be better guarding Gugliotta out on the floor.
Googs had a very good game Friday night in this building against the Blazers. 33 points and 17 rebounds. He's not going to approach those numbers on a regular basis. Minnesota needs, and talking to Bill Blair before the game, guys that they can count on. Whoever it might be, and the most likely candidates are Ryder and Gugliotta, say you know you're going to get 20 out of those guys.
Well, you need that consistency every night from those two players you just mentioned because they have the offensive punch that can carry this basketball team.
Googs 1 and 2 at the line. He's picked up the free throw percentage from last year. Came into the game at 79% compared to his career 67%. Robinson comes out and catches it. Here's Blair talking about Robinson like a power forward. Shot clock, you can see it's a factor. Good defense by Gugliotta.
Very good defense by Gugliotta.
The explosion of Ryder.
Oh! That was spectacular.
That was very impressive. He just kind of glides in the air and waits for Del Negro to come down and says, okay, now I can shoot. Wolves on a little bit of a roll here with the 2-point lead. Fortunate bounce for Minnesota.
The T-Wolves need some luck tonight, and Doug West found a loose ball on the floor and cashed it in.
Avery Johnson, pretty quiet so far as the point guard. Now back inside to Robinson. Foul will be called on Googs, and David looking for another 3-point chance.
Well, Tommy Gugliotta cannot play David Robinson by himself. And if they're going to get that ball out of David Robinson's hands, the double team must come quicker. He was allowed to split the double team that time between Doug West and Googs, and you can't have that.
And the dilemma for Blair is, number one, who do you put on Robinson? And then if you try Gugliotta, you better not get into foul trouble because you can't afford to lose him.
Well, you need Googs on the floor tonight as much as possible.
West and Ryder starting tonight for the first time. Shades of last year with Doug back to the small forward spot. Right at David Robinson, Ryder took it. No chance for Michael Williams against the much improved Sean Elliott.
Sean Elliott is great on the fast break. He's a finisher.
Why didn't things work out for him in Detroit?
It was just a bad place for him.
Foul called on Robinson. It seems like you need to fit in with the stars, the leaders of the team. A lot of people still believe that Dumars and Isaiah, they didn't respect Sean Elliott as a great NBA player.
Well, it was a different type of a team in Detroit than Sean Elliott was used to being in San Antonio. In San Antonio, they like the fast break and get in the open floor a lot more. And Detroit plays a half-court game, and that's not Sean Elliott's game.
Elliott contesting the Ryder shot. The Spurs have scored the last 5, looking to take a 3-point lead. That's Vinny Del Negro's game. Spot up outside shooting, and if he doesn't hit it, that's when Bob Hill looks to the bench.
He can bring Chuck Person off the bench. He has Doc Rivers over there. Those guys are pretty good spot-up shooters.
Ryder gives Minnesota the lead right back.
That's a good start for J.R. Ryder and Tom Gugliotta. The T-Wolves need those two guys to have good offensive nights.
Here is the man of the first 6-7 games for San Antonio. Sean Elliott has been their best player so far.
I mean, he's come out the gates on fire.
7 for Elliott, 6 for Robinson. They're the two leading scorers tonight and all season long. Good ball rotation by Minnesota. Williams did a fine job of getting back. Let's see about San Antonio half court. Right to Michael Williams, and now he'll make the decision. Both teams have gone flat in the last 30 seconds.
Both teams are looking for the three-point shot early.
Our first break of the first quarter, a number of lead changes so far. And as we take the first break, Bill Blair's club trails by 1.
When you're in Minnesota and you've got Miller Lite, life is good. Are there really 10,000 lakes here? So many walleye, so little time. What was I saying? Icy, cold, chilly.
Vikings.
Great bars. No doubt. Timberwolves. I love it cold. Weather or the beer? Both? You're in Minnesota. You got Miller Lite. Life is good.
I trained my boy McNeely to go toe-to-toe with the champ, and he did for 89 seconds. He didn't back down from any combinations thrown at him, and he ain't backing down from this one.
There's a new stuffed crust pizza from Pizza Hut. Not just cheese, but pepperoni baked right into the crust.
So good you'll eat it backwards. Show him, kid.
The new 1-2 combination cheese and pepperoni stuffed crust pizza.
Hey, McNeely, how many slices am I holding?
You'll think you're in hoops heaven when you attend Midwest Sports Channel's Youth Basketball Clinic, brought to you by the Minnesota Timberwolves. The clinic takes place at the Metrodome Saturday, December 16th at 4 p.m. before the Gophers California Bears men's basketball game. You'll receive a ticket to a Timberwolves game against Cleveland December 15th or Philadelphia December 17th. The clinic will be hosted by ex-Gophers Kevin McHale and Flip Saunders, along with other former Gopher standouts. Call 673-1645 to be a part of the Timberwolves and MSC team, your ultimate sports connection.
Chad Hartman, Trent Tucker back here at MSC. You'll hear from Michelle Tafoya in just a little bit. Defensively, David Robinson. We think about him so much offensively. And now right here, they're going to try to shut him down with Gugliotta guarding him early in this game.
Like Bill Blair mentioned, that you might have to put a small forward or a power forward on David Robinson, but good defense by Goog led to this spectacular shot by
nice.
J.R. Ryder.
Goog so far with 1 foul. What's the minutes number that Blair is looking for Gugliotta tonight? Is it a little bit more with Leighton around?
Googs has to play as long as he can.
Solid defense there. Aggressive play by West, and that's what Blair wants out of Doug. If they run the ball more, that's his strength, right? Finishing play?
Doug West is a great finisher, and he just has to be aggressive on offense, taking the ball strong to the goal, which is something he's very good at doing.
Doug now has started all but one of the contest. He came off the bench Saturday night in the blowout loss to Houston. Tonight, starting for the first time at small forward. So Ryder and West out there together.
I like Doug West in this starting lineup tonight because he has the speed and the quickness to match up with Sean Elliott.
Would have been a very difficult matchup for Sam Mitchell right at the start.
Sure, because Sam doesn't have the speed and the quickness and the lateral movement to stay with Sean Elliott.
Well, they're giving Vinny Del Negro a chance to shoot out of his slump. Minnesota likes the mixed results so far, and they love that finish.
This is a good start for the T-Wolves. I like the aggressiveness that this team has. They're out on the fast break, and they're attacking the basket.
They're +3 on the boards, and tonight, Trent, they're taking advantage of it and scoring off those rebounds. Looking out ahead right away, trying to find a guard. Look at how quick it's down court.
Doug West looks very confident tonight. I think those 2 early field goals he got in transition is starting to loosen his game up a lot.
First early lead for Minnesota, extended lead. It's up to 5 right now. No double team so far.
There was no double team that time. David Robinson had an easy time scoring a field goal.
Well, Ryder lost his balance, and they'll say play on. Another open shot for Del Negro, and another miss. It's a little bit different than when you have him inside to clean up.
No doubt about it. That shows the lack of big man for the Timberwolves inside. Can't keep David Robinson off the boards.
We can see the difference for Minnesota tonight, even off made hoops. Blair has said, you got to find a way to score more points. Looks like there are going to be times where they might even be out of control, but try to score. And just here's an example of how fast they're down court.
Where he's looking for his team to push the ball at every opportunity and be more aggressive in taking the ball to the basket.
Couple changes for San Antonio's. Googs has one more free throw coming up. I'm going to let you comment on the hair of J.R. Reed.
It's a 1995 Duke.
Oh, I don't know if that's any year, too. I think that's a do you might want to try out for our next telecast.
I might try that out.
I would love to see that. Well, Chuck Persons out there. I don't know if Chuck has enough hair. He can still grow enough hair to try that look as Avery comes up with the hoop right side. Right away, Minnesota coming back.
They're pushing the ball at every opportunity, believing that the San Antonio Spurs might be a little tired from playing last night.
J.R. Reed started the first 6 games tonight, coming off the bench for the first time. End to end for Gugliotta.
Tommy Gugliotta is showing guard-like skills. His legs are fresh. He's pushing the ball at every opportunity.
This pace is high octane right now, and at some point, Bill Blair's going to have to think about countering the San Antonio move, already trying to reserve. And his bench obviously not quite as deep without Christian Laettner.
Well, he got some young athletes over there with some fresh legs that maybe can keep up this pace, but that's the shot you want Avery Johnson to take. If he can beat you from 15 to 18 feet, well, you can live with that.
And check against Avery Johnson. In the background, you saw Terry Porter getting up for the first time. They're going to play at this pace. You're going to see 9-10 guys playing extended duty for both teams.
Well, if you're going to play this fast, you got to use a lot of guys off that bench. And they got some good young athletes over there that can play at this type of pace.
Bob Hill's bench last year was a strength. Rodman, most of the time a starter. That meant Reed was coming off the bench a lot. And really the only change from last year's team when Doc Rivers came over, Will Perdue for Dennis Rodman. This was the team that finished with the best record in the NBA.
You lose Dennis Rodman and you bring Will Perdue over. The only thing you lose there is rebounding. Dennis Rodman is one of the greatest rebounders of all time, but also you lose that distraction.
Yeah, you lose the headlines, that's for sure. But when he's playing, he allowed David Robinson to have a big-time season. Part of the reason why David was so good last year was Dennis Rodman. Ooh, the Wolves might have got a break there, but it didn't matter when Elliott caught the pass from Michael Williams.
Michael Williams must make better decisions with the basketball.
Porter will replace him next dead ball, and Reed had good position inside.
Avery Johnson is orchestrating this offensive attack by the Spurs beautifully.
Avery Johnson, 5 assists here in the first quarter. Rooks 0 for 2 so far against Robinson. What a play. Avery Johnson saw David the whole way coming down the court.
It's going to be tough for Sean Rooks to change ends and keep up with David Robinson. He's one of the best running centers that I've ever seen.
And you can see the rapport and then on the floor chemistry between Avery Johnson and David Robinson. How about the difference? David Robinson is San Antonio's post-up player. J.R. Rider at 6'5" is Minnesota's post-up player. Hey, if you're letting everybody know, my bad, I missed somebody open. I think it was J.R. Reed. He's giving it back to him. I think that hairdo might have distracted him a little bit.
You know, J.R. Reed has really improved his offensive game.
He's lost some weight finally, too. Another turnover by Minnesota. Wolves have 3. San Antonio yet to turn the ball over. A lot of shot attempts in a fast-paced first quarter. And that's going to be against David Robinson. Robinson with the foul. When we come back, Gugliotta at the line. If you want offense and you want fast break basketball, I think you're enjoying the first quarter.
.3 KDWB.
Dave Ryan in the morning? Who else is there?
I've just got a face for radio.
I get up with him every morning.
It's not anything to brag about. Look at here, Goldilocks.
It's Hiram.
Someone ask you a question.
Now we wanna be with you.
It's the menu of madness.
It's more like your love life.
Sometimes you just gotta say,
Dave Ryan in the morning and today's best music. 101.3 KDWB.
I put the brakes on 73 guys to become the champ. You probably break more times than that every time you get into your car. So you should be sure your brakes are up to it. The best place to do that is at Meineke, where you'll always get high-quality brakes at a great price. So come into Meineke. It could be one of the most important stops you make.
Take it from the champ. At Meineke, you're not going to pay a lot, but you'll get a lot.
I guarantee it.
The family of the future will have many hundreds of television channels.
Gee, mister, won't that be confusing?
Not with this, a video guide. It'll let them see what's on 7 days into the future, or what's on right now. It'll give them instant news and sports scores. And with just one touch, they'll even be able to tape record their favorite television shows. Don't forget the tape.
So what do you think they'd call this video guide?
Video guide. It's about time.
San Antonio coming into tonight's game with a 4-2 record, and Trent, for some reason, people have said that David Robinson off to a slow start. You watch a play like this, and you think, it can't be too slow.
Look at this eye contact between two players, Avery Johnson and Mr. Robinson.
David with the slam before we get back underway. We want to mention that Kevin Garnett is coming in the game for the Wolves. He'll help out a little bit on Avery Johnson to try to slow him down. Now, how will Garnett be used? Is he going to slide over it all inside? We can't talk about David Robinson right now because Will Perdue just replaced him.
Well, I think the T-Wolves now can just play good, sound, solid defense that David Robinson is out of the game.
And we talked during Saturday's contest where with just less than 4 minutes to go, Olajuwon was down, Drexler was down, the Wolves were trailing by about 6, and when the half ended, the Wolves were trailing by 12. You got to take advantage when the stars are out.
No doubt about this. You have to take advantage of this team. But remember, the Spurs still have Sean Elliott on the floor.
Pretty soon, I think that's when it's coming.
Yeah, it will.
I wish they would, and take the pressure off the bus. Want to go.
One more free throw coming up for Googs. Well, he changed his technique. He didn't kind of do that circular roll before, and it's working. He's 80% now compared to 67% before this year.
His coaches must have really been working with him in practice.
Chuck, first long jumper of the night on the line. It's a 2.
Chuck didn't waste any time. Nicknamed the Rifleman.
Plenty of offense here in the first quarter. See if Garnett will answer Chuck Person. A little bit short. Rebound goes right back to him. And he'll clean it up. It was awkward, but it's still 2.
Nice poise and patience for the young man down low.
Marquise Bragg just missed the block by a hair.
Avery Johnson is showing some tremendous speed.
Well, the idea was right, but the Spurs beat Minnesota down court, and the turnover goes against Terry Porter. Hey, Chuck showed some speed on that play with Person at the line. We'll look for another move here from San Antonio. Doc Rivers is going to come in the game. You know Doc pretty well.
I know Doc Rivers very well, and a solid player, a solid citizen, a great guy.
Well, Gopher basketball is coming up tomorrow night. Jim Dutcher and Dick Bramer with the call. Marathon Oil, the competition, I put that in quotes. Are you on that Marathon Oil team? I don't know anybody on that squad.
They asked me to try out, but I told them no.
Where does Marathon Oil normally play? Why? Marathon Oil almost always plays. It seems like they're playing every night. And they're never winning. They're the Washington Generals of college basketball. Minnesota, one starter on the floor, Doug West. Now, are they going at too quick of a pace now?
I think so. They had a fast pace before. They have different players on the floor now. I think this group of guys must come down and get good shots out of their offensive sets.
Terry Porter at the line. Let's check in with Michelle Tafoya just behind the Wolves.
Well, guys, Tom Gugliotta is taken to the bench. In that last time out, there was some concern on the part of Terry Porter and the coaches that something was wrong with Tom's health, that he was having a tough time breathing. They were checking on him. He was holding his head low. He had to go back in to shoot the free throws, but now they've brought him out, and that's the primary reason they've put Marquise Bragg in. Chad?
Yeah, let's remember Sean Rooks yesterday missed practice with the flu, and at shoot-around today, it wasn't known if Sean Rooks was going to play.
But the T-Wolves came out at a very fast pace. These guys are not used to that, so it takes some time for your body to adjust to that quick pace.
Elliott against West. No double team. 3 seconds. And the foul is called, and the light-up continues by Sean Elliott.
That was just a tough offensive move. Doug West playing good defense, bodying him up. Sean Elliott sees the defense coming from the middle, turns baseline, and hits a tough fall-away jumper.
And all-star a couple of years ago, Sean Elliott. His top points totals last year, 18. Let's not forget, he almost was a member of the Rockets in the Robert Horry deal that failed when he was still with the Pistons.
He's very happy being back in San Antonio.
The Spurs a shade below 60%. Blair trying to push the tempo, allowing the opposition more chances, and thus 37 points. Point guard against a power forward, and Porter gets the foul on J.R. Reed.
Nice, smart decision by Terry Porter. Knew he had J.R. Reed out on the floor, had him at his advantage, and took advantage of the opportunity that was there.
Mark Davis about to come in. A chance to remind you that your chance to see one of the best teams in the NBA is coming up when Penny Hardaway and the Magic come here to the Target Center Friday, November 24th. Good seats are still available. I think some people believe this game is sold out. No, good seats still available. You can stop by the Target Center box office or call 989-5151. And right now, Trent Tucker, so far through 2 weeks, he's the best player in the NBA, Penny Hardaway.
I agree with you, Chad.
He was spectacular last night.
Oh, was he good.
5-point lead, there's still time. Nice little wrinkle off the inbounds pass. Although I don't think Will is your option from 30 feet. Sean Elliott's made everything else. Why not this one?
Are you kidding me?
I mean, you can just see that one coming, couldn't you? Quarters don't get much better than that for Sean Elliott. 13 points, 5 of 6, and, oh, this one from 27 off balance. 40-32. I think you're coming back.
Did you get the page?
He's always asking me that.
Page him again.
I'll page him again.
If your pager can't confirm delivery, call 1-800-SkyTel.
Science Plus.
Keeping our lives in alignment is a big challenge. It seems like we're always hitting those proverbial potholes. To get back into alignment, we need to prioritize and use our time wisely. Hi, I'm Tom Gigax. Speaking of alignment, when your car or truck hits a pothole, come to Tires Plus for a free alignment check. Just as you need to keep your life in alignment, keep your car or truck in alignment at Tires Plus.
No warehouse prices. Tires Plus. World-class service. Tires Plus.
Once again, experts are predicting an easy winter.
For Jeep Cherokee Sport owners anyway, its 190 horsepower engine, four-wheel drive, and anti-lock brakes turn even the harshest conditions into a day at the beach. And now get no-charge air and a lease rate of just $249 a month. Jeep Cherokee Sport, the perfect way to turn a wild winter into a mild winter.
Great availability now at your local Jeep and Eagle dealer.
future will have many hundreds of television channels.
Gee, mister, won't that be confusing?
Not with this, a video guide. It'll let them see what's on 7 days into the future, or what's on right now. It'll give them instant news and sports scores. And with just one touch, they'll even be able to tape record their favorite television shows. Don't forget the tape.
So what do you think they'd call this video guide?
Video guide. It's about time.
Welcome back to Target Center, where the Wolves trail by 8. They've given up 40 points in this first quarter, and that has this team very upset. Bill Blair said in the huddle, hey, we're not guarding anyone. You allowed 40 points in the first quarter? That's because we're not guarding anybody. He wants to see more physical play inside. They're giving up easy shots. He wants that to change. Chad?
Missed chance. Michael Williams almost had the turnover. I thought Michelle handled it very well with the action right behind her, too. Looked like Michelle almost set a screen on that last play.
She's very good.
Yeah, she freed up the open bat. 61% for the Spurs in the first quarter. Oh, beautiful move by Terry Porter, then couldn't clean it up.
Oh, that was a nice move.
Rivers, Del Negro, Person, Perdue, and J.R. Reed. Vinny Del Negro is fouled on the play. Just look at the difference in the field goal numbers and what specific areas must Minnesota improve defensively.
Well, for one, you cannot afford to give up 40 points in a quarter. That's just too many points to a team like the San Antonio Spurs. The T-Wolves came out and tried to play a fast-paced game, hoping that the Spurs were a little tired from coming from Milwaukee last night. But hey, they came out and got into this transition game, something they love to do.
Christian Laettner watching right behind Doug West. Laettner got another 10 days or so. And Kevin McHale yesterday called him this team's best player so far. Certainly Minnesota's added more depth. They're not at a point where they can lose the guy that the VP says is their best player so far.
Well, Laettner was playing very good basketball until his injury. And he was the team's best player.
And he hurt himself in the Portland game when the game was still going to be determined, and he was the one player who inside was having success. Gugliotta was coming up with his points, a combination inside-outside. Christian was scoring pretty well inside.
Because Laettner could take the centers outside and use his offensive skills a lot. He could let his jump shot develop. He didn't have to rush himself. He was in a nice comfort zone, but the injury has hurt this team desperately.
And they're pretty convinced he'll be ready. When IR's up 5 games, 10 days, there's still a little bit of concern. It's not a conventional ankle injury.
Well, they have to make sure that the injury to the ankle has healed completely.
I think Kevin Garnett's going to find out there are times when Person can make every shot out there, and he's off to a pretty good start so far.
That's just experience by Chuck Person, knowing he has a rookie on him, and he's just using all the experience he has.
Don't forget experience. How about athletic ability and 4 inches over?
And Kevin Garnett presents a problem for Chuck Person on the defensive end also. He can shoot over Chuck.
They give him a little bit of room. Chuck will love to answer. You knew he was going to take that shot.
Chuck is not shy at all.
Shrinking Violet, he is not. Now Doc Rivers saw that pass coming the entire way.
Sam should have took the quick shot.
Now that pass was even worse.
Sam turned down a 15-footer to try to improve his range, but he got caught between the defense and tried to make a shuffle pass and had a turnover. Take the shot when it's there.
Number 34,
Ryder is back in for Minnesota. Just under 2 minutes gone by. San Antonio, Trent, scoring 44 points, playing at a fast pace, and only giving up the basketball 1 time.
That's why they scored 40 points in that first quarter.
He called the timeout as he was falling out of bounds. We're seeing this play so much. I would love to see the league stop this, unless the guy is fully under control when he's falling out of bounds. Just say it's a turnover, they lose the ball.
Good strong hands by Doc Rivers. Everyone is using this play now, calling timeout when they're falling out of bounds.
Well, it's early in the season, but let's take a look. In Midwest Division standings, Minnesota will play these teams 5 times this year. The Mavericks, they didn't play quite as well as some people thought in the preseason. Hasn't been a problem so far in the regular season, including an opening night win over San Antonio in San Antonio.
They have 3 quality players, and Jason Kidd, Jimmy Jackson, and Jamal Mashburn. And when those guys grow up in the next few years, they're going to be dynamite.
They beat Vancouver the other night. They shot 27%, still won the game. Jamal was 2 of 17 and still won. That's a pretty good margin of error.
That's true, but he was playing the Vancouver Grizzlies.
Yeah, well, don't say that to the Wolves. The Wolves are still trying to figure out how they lost that game with a 14-point lead going into the 4th. J.R. Reed, a little bit of strength inside, and let's see who the whistle is against. Mitchell and Williams right there, and the official had his pick. It's on Michael Williams.
J.R. Reed taking the ball strong to the basket. A little scrap down here, but J.R. showing his strength by just taking the ball away from Sam Mitchell and Michael Williams.
Now, Trent, tell me which game you're going to go with the hairstyle. Not a Googs. That's the conventional. But when are you going to break out this hairstyle?
I think I'm going to hold it for a surprise.
Sounds like you're not going to go with it.
You know, I keep it to myself for a while.
I would assume every broadcast, J.R. Reed's hair comes up. He got to have that shaggy look last year. A little bit more control this season. And all of a sudden, this is a 9-point game. One way to knock it down, go to your best scorer inside.
Del Negro can do nothing with J.R. Rider on the low block. Nice bounce pass by Googs. Look at this strength by J.R. Rider.
Rider already with 10 field goal attempts. So when Blair said he's looking for somebody to step forward offensively, your first candidate would be this guy.
Well, he's your best talent. And when you have a talent like J.R. Rider, you want him scoring points.
Williams already with 18 free throw attempts. They're 14 of 18. David Robinson, by the way, he has been on the bench for a long time. Block shot partially by Michael Williams.
Good defense by Michael Williams.
Yeah, that's against Sean Rooks, and there's another time where Minnesota had the numbers. Michael Williams gave up the shot.
You have to cash in when you have the advantage. When you don't cash in, something as bad is going to happen for your team. Kevin Garnett takes the ball back out.
Williams momentarily lost possession of the ball, and then he was in too tight and tried to give up on the pass.
And once he took the shot, Sean Rooks created a defensive foul.
Good pass by Williams on that play, and then Garnett traveled. Now the pass was fine. Kevin Garnett's just got to go straight up and say who can block this shot no matter who's behind him. And it turned out it was Chuck Person who would have had no chance.
Nice strong move by Doc Rivers. Good rebound by Sean Rooks. Good outlet. Good full length court pass. Just take the ball to the basket, young fella. Strong. No one's going to block your shot.
Yeah, David Robinson's sitting down right now, Kevin. He's got no chance for it. Now, pretty efficient in the first quarter. Not very efficient at all in the second quarter, either side offensively. Off of Doc Rivers. Let me ask you this, Trent. Why do you think David Robinson's been sitting down for so long? He went down with about 3 minutes to go in the quarter.
I think Bob Hill is looking to rest David a little bit. So maybe the second half, he can use him a little bit longer.
Just as we're talking about the absence of David Robinson, Michael Williams is fouled. He'll come back in. They did play in Milwaukee last night, so the trip obviously not real long as you're looking at some scores underneath. Sometimes you'll see teams get in real late, maybe 3, 4 o'clock, and then the minutes are condensed. That should not be a problem tonight.
No, because Milwaukee is not one of those trips where you spend 2 or 3 hours on the plane. But they had a tough game in Milwaukee last night. Anytime you play a back-to-back game in the NBA, sometimes it's tough recovering for the next night.
West will come back in for Minnesota. Kevin Garnett will sit down. So the starting lineup back on the floor for Minnesota. And as we look out there for San Antonio, the only non-starter on the floor is Chuck Person. It'll be fun to watch here. Person and West, two good friends. Well, so much for watching Chuck Person and Doug West. Sean Elliott will come in. He's going to come in for Del Negro. I thought he might come in for Chuck Person, so we still might see the West-Person duel.
Well, this is a good move by the Spurs, bringing in Sean Elliott, a bigger player, a bigger defender who can guard J.R. Rider.
You have Robinson, you really don't need to double team. Block was clean. Lariona is right underneath, and a technical foul quickly whistled against Sean Rooks, and they cannot lose him with Leitner out of the lineup.
You have a player like David Robinson, you don't need to double team because he can handle the low post all by himself.
What do you think about the call here?
That's David Robinson.
Again, that's the time I believe if it's NBA conventional officials, there might be a little bit of squawking, not as much.
Not at all, because these players are trying to intimidate these officials.
46-40. It was 40-32 after the first quarter. Scoring is diminished. That's an understatement here in the second quarter. Dominating, just playing volleyball inside until West tries to tie him up.
David is just walking himself into the lane. No one puts a body on David Robinson. He just walks into the lane. Like you said, Chad, he's playing volleyball up there.
Without Dennis Rodman. David Robinson needs to rebound more this year, correct?
He has to rebound more without Dennis Rodman. And you know that David Robinson is going to be counted on to do a lot of things for this San Antonio team.
Well, most importantly, that foul was against Doug West, his third. So just when Doug is starting to play his best game, he has to sit down. I have no idea why they're worried at all about bringing the trunks up for Kevin Garnett. Who cares whatsoever?
The official don't understand that this is the style today.
This is ridiculous. And then underneath, Robinson knocks Michael Williams' deck. Here's Michelle Tafoya.
Well, Chad, it was interesting. After Kevin Garnett came to the bench, he was still so distraught about that traveling call against him. Terry Porter gave him a lot of words of encouragement, and then Kevin was asked to get right in there and do it again. Terry Porter patted him on the butt. That was the last thing this young rookie needed, to come back in and be harassed about the length of his shorts. Chad?
Third foul on Robinson. He's down next net ball. They'd love to get 4 on Robinson right here. They'll try to get it to Rooks. Now they got no time. Let's make sure his shorts are okay before he goes to the line. Man, oh man. We'll check the rule book for other minutia during the break. David Robinson most likely down for the rest of the half. Right now, Kevin Garnett, the Wolves trail by 6.
Has a great mix for your home. Get a fresh look with Ed Wiggins paint. Choose from several finishes on sale, including inside flat paint. Just $6.95 a gallon after mail-in rebate. Secure your home with Titan locks. The very name suggests strength. This passage lock is $8.48. This entry lock is just $14.98. Turn to Menards for top deals on Titan locks.
Save big money at Menards.
Ever dreamed of owning World Series history? Now you can with collector's souvenirs made from AstroTurf used in the Metrodome during the 87 and 91 World Series. Choose from an array of limited edition items including coasters, putting greens, and more. Proceeds support after-school programs for children in the Twin Cities.
Puckett for third.
To order, call 33 Twins. Sponsored by MSC, Channel 4, and WCCO Radio.
Welcome back to Target Center, where the Wolves trail by 6 in the huddle now. Just before the Wolves take the court again, Terry Porter gave this team a pep talk, and he said, these last 6 minutes are very important. We got to get over the hump. We're starting to play defense, but we cannot let them go on a run in this last part of the first half. Chad?
Well, and part of the reason why they're so important, Michelle, is David Robinson done for the rest of the half. We mentioned it earlier, Trent. Saturday night, Drexler, Olajuwon go down with a little bit more than 3.5 to go, and the Wolves, instead of decreasing the lead of Houston, maybe taking their own lead, so the lead increased by 6.
This is a key moment in this game. David Robinson is on the bench with 3 fouls. This is what the T-Wolves must take advantage of this situation.
Will Perdue, Carl Herrera, and Chuck Person. They're the front line. This is why it matters so much. With Robinson dominating Rooks inside. Although to be fair to Sean, Gugliotta's done the majority of the defensive guarding, or else attempting to shut down Robinson inside. Shot clock was not reset. Ball never caught rim, so it's at 8. ISO for Elliott. Still time for Avery to take the initial shot, but once he gave it up, he had no opportunity.
Good solid defense, good patience on defense. Giving the ball in Avery Johnson's hand about 15 to 18 feet from the basket. He's not comfortable looking for that shot.
The Spurs scored 40 points in the first quarter. They have just 6 in the first 6 minutes of this second. That looked like the same play, this time going from David Robinson to Sean Elliott, and all of a sudden Elliott has come down to the floor after dominating the first quarter, and Kevin Garnett ties him up.
But they get that ball up the floor in a hurry. Look at this pass from Avery Johnson to Sean Elliott. I'm surprised he missed that field goal. But KG getting his hand in there, being aggressive, tying up Carl Herrera.
Herrera at 6'8". Garnett just a little bit below 7, and he easily wins it. Watch out for Rodder. Gugliotta was thinking the same way, the pass just a little bit short. Now JR trying to do it on his own on this possession.
Trying to do a little too much. Be patient.
It's a 3.
That's a big shot. That's a big shot at this time. A huge shot by Gugliotta.
Wide open is Avery Johnson. Excellent screen set by Herrera.
That's the shot you want Avery Johnson to take. When they set the screen roll, go under the pick and make him shoot jump shots.
That one a little bit too far maybe for Blair's liking. Rooks comes away and they get the fresh 24. Williams will set up the offense. Remember, Robinson most likely done for the rest of the half. That was Will Perdue. Can't believe the call. You probably can't believe it because he gets the chance to see Robinson get calls on a regular basis.
That's just a good catch by Sean Rooks. Tough pass to handle, but nice soft hands by the big guy.
Well, the rap on Sean Rooks' trend has always been rebounding. What can he do with his size? Does he back it up? In this first half, he has 5 rebounds, and Saturday night against the Rockets and Olajuwon, he had 14. Pretty good so far.
He's been working on his footwork, and that's something that good rebounders have, is good footwork. And he needs to just throw that big body of his around and knock people around.
Now the long rebound gives Minnesota a break. A 3 would tie it. strong move by Tom Gugliotta. Pretty good recognition with Will Perdue trying to guard him. Trying being the key word.
He saw Will Perdue on him. He just took the ball strong to the basket. Googs knew that Will Perdue could not guard him out in the open floor.
Now he was shading him towards the baseline. Did he think he had some help coming that way?
Well, usually most guys will send you baseline hoping that your teammate is going to rotate over because the baseline is there. You got behind the basket to protect you. And if you got a teammate rotating, that can cut down that guy's options from scoring the basket or passing to a teammate.
Normally, it's the center who comes over and helps out. The problem was the center was the guy trying to guard the quicker player.
And no one recognized that Tom Gugliotta was matched up against Will Perdue.
8 missed free throws by Minnesota in the first half. Elliott trying to go to work on Garnett. Gugliotta with the help out, but Chuck gets the open 3.
Big Will, yes sir.
Minnesota's got to come away with it sometime here.
Will Perdue pounding the offensive board. Pounding the offensive board, using them long arms of his.
Too many chances for the Spurs on that possession.
At the end, Sean Elliott had Sean Rooks on him.
Remember rebounding. We talked about the Minnesota advantage early. Right now, the Spurs are a +1 on the boards, 21-20. Keeping it alive for Minnesota.
Whoa.
Man, that was a great hesitation move. The officials waited just a little bit on that call. You know, at the first glance from our angle, Trent, I thought that was clean.
I was trying to figure out what they were waiting on.
Here's the miss by Garnett. Man, oh man. Rack up the VCR if that one's coming down. Now tell me if there's any contact. Watch the right hand of Will Perdue.
Nice reverse move by Googs. Yeah, going to the basket strong. Got to give it to him.
Also a technical. Hanging on the rim if you're going to call that.
Well, I think Will's saying, look, if you're going to call jerseys, you're going to call this. Let's go back to college and call hanging on the rim. Will Perdue just picked up his 3rd foul, so they got to go to center number 3. Cadillac Anderson.
Will hasn't changed from the days that I played with him in Chicago.
He'll pipe up with a hint of sarcasm on occasion.
All the time.
A ton of field goal attempts, and look at the disparity. It's an area where Minnesota must improve. You got no chance. If in one half, the other team gets 15 more attempts.
And also, they are missing their foul shots again.
Well, it worked. Shot clock at 3 and a little smile back and forth between the two JRs. I think JR might be laughing at his haircut, though. I think that might be the real story.
JR using his speed and quickness to deflect that ball away.
Long range, Chuck Person. Wolves looking to convert. And a number of chances here the last 2 minutes to cut the lead.
A little quick on the offensive end. He had Chuck Person on him. That was the time they needed a good offensive shot.
Shove inside, whistled against Ryder. That will be foul number 1 against Ryder. West has 3 fouls. The Spurs have 2 players with 3 fouls.
Avery Johnson recognizing that J.R. Ryder had his back toward him and could not see the flight of the ball. And knew Chuck Person might have an opportunity for an easy basket.
Minnesota at the line, 20 of 28. The Spurs at the line, 9 of 13. Pretty good shooting percentage outside the arc for Chuck Person.
46%, that's really good.
Lead to 5. Porter and Williams now on the floor together. Along with Gugliotta, Garnett, and Rooks. Now trying to get Michael Williams on track with a high pick and roll. That's a play that normally Michael Williams is very good at. He continues to struggle.
He's been struggling with that shot.
Quick hands by Gugliotta.
Nice fast break by the T-Wolves. Good headers play by Michael Williams. Getting the ball to a guy who can finish on the break. Nice play by Michael Williams.
No chance. Sean Elliott against Michael Williams.
The T-Wolves must recognize when there is a mismatch with a big forward or a small forward against one of their smaller guards.
He'll come back. Michael Williams and Kevin Garnett got the deficit to 3.
Up in the air about this weekend's games? Are you looking for the big plays in college football and the NFL? Then watch the final score.
If Marino stays healthy, the Dolphins are going to the Super Bowl.
If you're getting more than 3, take the Patriots plus the points.
Nebraska will once again win it all. Watch the final score every Saturday morning.
This holiday season, don't let a fortune pass you by. The Discover Card Big Payback is back, awarding 8 winners $250,000 each. Just shop with your Discover Card and you're automatically entered in our holiday sweepstakes. The more you do, the more chances you have to win. Who would want to miss that? It pays to Discover, the card with the big payback. Use it where you see the Novus sign. To apply for your Discover Card, just call 1-800-DISCOVER.
Bob didn't think about what he'd do with his recently replaced appliance. He should have gone to Warner Stallion, where you'll always get free recycling and unbelievable low prices on Jen Air, the #1 preferred brand of cooktops and ranges and convection ovens. Warner Stallion, where you'll get free Metro delivery, professional installation, and free recycling.
Should have gone to Warner Stallion.
Flip Saunders right now watching his team trail by 3. A reminder of MSC that your Gopher Hockey Connection. In fact, the Gophers travel to Duluth this weekend to take on the Bulldogs on Friday and Saturday. Friday at 8 o'clock, Saturday at 7. Frank Mazzocco, Tom Reed, and Ryan Lefebvre will bring you all the action right here on MSC, your Hockey Connection.
Sean Elliott was posted up on Michael Williams. His teammates must recognize that and get in position where they can help out.
One of the bigger players needs to come over soon.
You have to recognize when you see a mismatch and knowing that one of your teammates is in trouble.
Now everybody's missing free throws. Elliott with just 4 points in this quarter. Nobody doing a thing in any sort of shooting this quarter. Wide open is good for the 3.
That's good ball movement.
No call. Either way, you got to make that call. Either offensively or defensively. And the Wolves bench the last time went nuts on the fake pass, no illegal defense. How can you not make this call?
That's an offensive foul.
Well, it's at least a call.
Something.
Yeah. The NBA and the referees met today for a long time. No progress reported. They're going to meet again later this week. 3-person referees, replacement referees, will start up December 15th. And this time they called against J.R. Reed.
That's the shot you want Avery Johnson taking. But Googs recognized that he had a chance to get to the basket, and J.R. Reed had not set his feet on defense. He knew that he could get the call.
We'll see this time what Gugliotta can do at the line. We praised him early, and then since then he struggled a little bit. A lot of chances. Googs right now 8 of 11. 3 players from Minnesota in double figures. Gugliotta 13, West has 11. Ryder has 10. For the Spurs, 2 guys, and the 2 players you would expect, Elliott and Robinson. Elliott 17, David 15.
If you look at Tom Gugliotta free throw attempts, that lets you know right there, he's being very aggressive and taking the ball to the basket. You cannot trail 4 feet behind Chuck Person.
Pretty good pass inside by Terry Porter.
Good recognition by Terry Porter. Knew he had drew the defense toward him. Knew someone had to be open. Found Sean Rooks down the lane. Now Rooks has a chance to go to the line for 2 free throws.
What do you think about Sean Rooks' performance so far in the first half?
He's played very well. He's played within himself. He's been under control, and he knows that he has to stay on the floor.
He did pick up a technical earlier in this half, complaining about a non-call. Michael Williams had to quickly attempt to back him away. I don't know if it worked, but at least he tried to back away, realizing as much as anybody, they can't lose him and have a chance to win.
No.
Now, this call was made about 40 feet away, and I think that's part of the frustration. Avery Johnson will go to the line, and now the concern might be how Avery is, because he went down pretty hard after the contact with Mark Davis.
Ooh.
Little hip check.
He's a strong little guy, though.
Avery Johnson has bounced around this league. San Antonio, Houston, Seattle, Golden State, and Denver. But finally, he's back in San Antonio with the 3rd time. You get the impression that he's here for good.
He's found a home in San Antonio.
Missed them both. You're going to take it in front court and then call the 20-second timeout. All right, there's 53 seconds to go. His team trails by 2. Why did Blair call the 20 here?
He wants to let his team know right now what play that he wants. He's going to design a play for a specific player to get this shot.
Ahmad Rashad is here. Ahmad still has his place here, I believe, in Eden Prairie. So Ahmad will check out about 10 games a year. Kirby's here just about every night. They both have pretty good seats, though. Little baseline, little free throw line extended. Jesse's a little bit farther back, but those still aren't bad duckets.
It pays to be a celebrity.
How often do you pay for your tickets?
You know, the team will compensate me now for getting the tickets.
Now, too much, some people say.
I like that, you know.
Glenn Taylor, here as always. All right, let's see what they come up with after the 20-second timeout.
Good patience on offense. Real nice patience on offense. They were looking for Sean Rooks, but he showed a lot of patience, passed that ball back out. Terry Porter made a nice pass to Tom Gugliotta. That's good team defense.
Here comes the speed of Davis.
Nice finish for Mark Davis.
They take the lead for the first time in this second quarter. They led by 5 at one point in the first quarter. Shot clock and game clock basically in sync.
Davis and Garnett must stay home with Elliott and Chuck Person. That was a tough shot.
There's plenty of time for Gugliotta. It'll go down. Mark Davis, spectacular finish here to end the first half. The depth is supposed to be different this year, and Mark Davis, he's part of the reason why.
It was a nice finish for Mark Davis. He had been struggling a little bit early in the season. This might help get him going now.
Well, at one point in this first half, Minnesota trailed by 10, but the reserves bring him back, and the kids do it. Mark Davis does it, and the Wolves lead by 2.
If you're just rolling out of bed, do not look outside.
The new Jeep Grand Cherokee Laredo offers an available V8 and full-time four-wheel drive.
On the way, buses are running behind.
Anti-lock disc brakes and dual airbags.
Getting through. It's very
Plus a lease rate of just $349 a month.
All in all, it's a great day for snowmen.
making the new Jeep Grand Cherokee greatly underappreciated by school kids everywhere.
Great availability now at your local Jeep and Eagle dealer.
It could only come from here. Canada, the home of ice. Molson Ice. Ice brewed to be colder and bolder. Yet smooth as ice. Molson Ice. From the land where ice was born.
He's here.
Make a hole, people. Come on.
Welcome back to Halftime Jam here on MSC. Our score at the break. Spurs 57, Wolves 59, thanks to 4 straight points by Mark Davis. So Wolves lead by a deuce at the break. Well, you know, in the offseason, with questions about Michael Williams' health, this Timberwolves club went in search of a solid point guard to help out. They signed veteran Terry Porter. And while Porter is sharing time with Williams at the #1 spot on this team, his influence on this team is unmistakable.
Porter, nice feed to Gugliotta with a big jam. Oh, that was a big-time pass by Terry Porter, penetrating.
He's 32 years old. He's coming off an ankle injury. And after playing for one of the NBA's best teams in the 1980s, he's suddenly playing with its worst team of the 1990s. Those may seem like negatives, but Timberwolves point guard Terry Porter has a fresh, positive perspective on his career here in Minnesota. Acquired last month, Porter has embarked on a new round ball role, that of teacher, showing the younger players how to achieve the same success he has savored in a decade of professional basketball.
I think those guys look at me as, someone who's been around the league a long time, and I can definitely give them some insight on what the league is all about. And I look forward to, sitting down and talking to some young guys about what the league is all about and trying to, give them insights of what it takes to succeed at this level.
Right now, Porter is playing backup to Michael Williams, but the former All-Star doesn't seem to mind his second fiddle status. And if you think the Wolves should be giving number 30 about 30 minutes a game as the team's point guard, Coach Bill Blair says you're missing the point.
We would like Terry to play 20-25 minutes at either point guard or two as a backup role and help Michael much as possible. As quick as Michael gets going, I think that's what it'll end up being. And then we can move Terry to wherever he's needed, whether it be 2, 1, whatever, and try to hopefully eventually bring the young kid Jerome Allen along.
You may not see Porter pour in 20 points a night for the Wolves, but you will see him take a leadership role with players like Allen and Kevin Garnett and provide inspiration to a team trying to finally gain some respect in the NBA. And so far, Porter thinks this team can give Minnesota basketball fans something to be proud of.
We have guys now who want to play, who's willing to do all the things, who need to be played. I think in years past, from what I've heard, there's been some guys who hasn't had that type of approach. And I think, with Kevin and the coaching staff, we have 12 guys like that now who's willing to bust the tail and do all the extra things that need to be done in order for this franchise to move up.
And we have seen Terry Porter do those other things. We've seen it all night long. In the huddle, he is a strong influence, often adding to Bill Blair's pep talks with one of his own. Well, Halftime Jam will continue with a conversation with Bob Hill, the coach of the San Antonio Spurs, when we return.
It's incredible under $20 leather gift sale. You see, money really is no object. Wilson's, the leather experts. Call 1-800-3-LEATHER for the store nearest you.
Attorney Kate McQueen saw something she wasn't supposed to see. Now she must trust a cop as if her life depended on it. William Baldwin, Cindy Crawford, Fair Game, Rated R, now playing.
Nobody does it like you, the way that you do. Nobody's got the power to please me.
Hoover's exclusive 2-tank system lets you pick up wet in one tank, then switch to a separate tank to pick up dry. So there's no mess emptying, wet or dry.
Nobody does it like you, Hoover. Nobody does it like you.
The Maglite flashlight is a work of art that works. A Maglite flashlight is the brilliant gift idea for any occasion.
Tires Plus. Tires, not the most exciting purchase you make, yet the #1 safety feature on your second largest investment. The only thing between your family and the road. How do you know when and what kind of tires you need? For something this important, trust Tires Plus, the Midwest's #1 tire store. All the top brands, 58-minute tire service, and Tires Plus 150% best price guarantee.
No warehouse prices. Tires Plus. World-class service. Tires Plus.
If you're just rolling out of bed, do not look outside.
The new Jeep Grand Cherokee Laredo offers an available V8 and full-time four-wheel drive.
On the way, buses are running behind.
Anti-lock disc brakes and dual airbags.
Getting through. It's very
Plus a lease rate of just $349 a month.
All in all, it's a great day for snowmen.
Making the new Jeep Grand Cherokee greatly underappreciated by school kids everywhere.
Great availability now at your local Jeep and Eagle dealer.
Welcome back to Halftime Jam. Timberwolves are up by a deuce over the Spurs, 59-57, our score at the break. Well, you may remember that a couple of years ago when the Timberwolves were looking for a new head coach and hired Bill Blair, the other top candidate was Bob Hill. Bob Hill took the San Antonio job instead. So while Blair and Hill face entirely different sets of problems as coaches, Bob Hill may have had the NBA's biggest problem on his team last year, Dennis Rodman. Earlier tonight, I sat down with the coach of the San Antonio Spurs. Coach, most people in Minnesota remember you as one of the two coaches that was almost named the head coach to this program when you ended up going down to San Antonio. Does being in this building again and coaching against Bill Blair or with Bill Blair on the other bench provide any kind of a unique experience for you because of that?
No, not really. I mean, I'm thrilled Bill got an opportunity. He's paid his dues for a long time, deserves an opportunity to coach in this league, and I don't feel anything one way or the other, except I just want to win the game.
An amazing season last year, 62-20. David Robinson was MVP. You went as far as this franchise has ever gone in the playoffs. But everyone seemed to sort of sit back and wait for Dennis Rodman to self-destruct. How much of a distraction was he in the playoffs?
Well, he was a distraction all year long. It just continued in the playoffs. And I think really what happened, to be honest with you, is I think he just wore everybody out in the end. They just got tired of it. You know, the season is so long, and we had so much success. And, you know, Dennis has a way every day of tormenting everyone just with his attitude and his presence. And they just got tired of it. I was awfully proud of the team, the way they managed him all year long. And, you know, he played 49 regular season games is all he played. And, you know, we won with him and we won without him. So it got old. Why or why not do you think he will flourish in Chicago? Well, if they pay him, you know, if they pay him what he wants. You know, the sad thing about it is I think all of us in San Antonio agreed that he was being underpaid. In today's market, he's making $2.5 million. And if you're the leading rebounder in this league, then you're certainly worth more than that. Now, I don't know that he's worth $6 like he says he is, but he's underpaid. There's no question. I told him that 100 times. But there's ways of going about getting paid, and there's ways not to. And his ways, you know, most people aren't going to appreciate. You mentioned it. It's a long season. You had so much success in the last season. You got to go through it again this season, and obviously the goal is to win the NBA title.
What do you do with this team to keep them focused on that and not think about last year and how frustrating that was?
Well, you get to go through it again. You don't have to. You get to. It's a pleasure and an honor to get to coach in this league and also to have a team like I got. I've had other teams, and so I have a deep appreciation for the one I have. And we're not playing well right now, and part of that is the residue of last season. It's the responsibilities that we feel we all have, having had such a great year. And you know, many times in life when you take a step forward, your next step is back because you forget why you got where you were. And we're struggling a little bit with that right now, plus we've added some new players, and we're just trying to put this team together yet. And we've been very inconsistent with our performances, and guys are trying to find their niche. We've had injuries and so on and so forth, but we're going to be a whale of a team again. The character on this team is terrific. We're deep, we're bigger, we shoot it better. And our defense has been better. I mean, we hold Milwaukee last night to 41% shooting, 98 points, and lose because our offense is sputtering. But as we get together here, we're going to be a whale of a team.
Good luck, Coach.
Thanks.
Wolves lead the Spurs 59-57. When we come back, Chad Hartman and Trent Tucker will rejoin us from courtside.
Maglite flashlight is a work of art that works. A Maglite flashlight is the brilliant gift idea for any occasion.
I just had an accident. I'm okay. But I don't think the car's ever going to look the same again.
Is everything okay?
No, it's not okay. It's perfect.
Here's our top 10 reasons to shop Tires Plus. Number 10, weed 2 windows. 9, all the top brands. 8, don't like them? Exchange them. 7, work fast. 6, mouths to feed. 5, we recycle. 4, 90 days, no payment. 3, best price guarantee. 2, will a line break and shock you. And our number 1 reason to shop Tires Plus, we're from around these parts and we're really nice. Low warehouse prices, fast, world-class service.
Tires Plus.
Just about ready for the start of the third quarter. Chad Hartman, Trent Tucker back here along with Michelle Tafoya. Minnesota leading by 2. Let's back up the numbers from the first half and show you that both teams about the same field goal percentage. But Trent, the big difference, attempts for San Antonio, 14 more.
Well, the Spurs has gotten to the foul line a lot more than the Timberwolves because they have a marquee player in David Robinson.
They make up for it at the end with fast break points. That's the biggest difference for Minnesota in this game compared to the first 5 games. It's time now to take a look at our MSC Discover Card NBA scoreboard, brought to you as always by your Discover Card. Toronto, Minnesota's opponent Friday, Trent, will both be there. And if people think that's an automatic win, just take a look at the score. The Raptors are a good team, especially with Damon Stoudemire.
Damon Stoudemire is playing great basketball for the Toronto Raptors, and they have some quality veterans they picked up in the expansion draft.
Utah off to the good start that most people thought. Grant Hill, Lindsey Hunter and the boys off to another good game, trying to upset Seattle. Miami and Riley looking for another victory. New Jersey, a little bit of surprise there at home over Charlotte. Stackhouse obviously hasn't done much tonight. Maybe it's big George Mira-san with the big numbers. Denver and Phoenix. Hey, the Suns a disappointment so far, I think.
They're not playing well at all.
Yeah, the Bulls, 22, and then later tonight. Well, I think Ken Mauer from St. Paul. Kenny might be watching this game somewhere. It doesn't sound like much progress was made in the meetings today. They're going to meet again, and just have to see what happens when 3 refs are brought in. Now, how about the look from this gentleman here? Maybe Larry just heard us talking about the addition of a 3rd ref. Well, the Spurs led by their main two guys. That's no surprise. Robinson and Elliott, although both guys really dropped off in the second quarter.
I think that fast pace in the first quarter wore both players down.
For Minnesota, Gugliotta had 16 points and 10 rebounds. He had a great first half, and he knocks the ball away here early against Robinson. Rivera, normally not known as an outside shooter. That's why he hesitated so much before Googs came away with rebound number 11.
It was good defense by the T-Wolves, not allowing Avery Johnson to get to the middle of the floor.
Doug West played well in the first half. He just was limited by Doug in the first half, only 13 minutes. Del Negro, a non-factor first half against Minnesota. This is against Doug. It's number 4. Let's see who the foul is called against. West and Gugliotta both were there. It's on Tom Gugliotta. Number 1 on the Wolves. Sorry about that.
Sorry, Chad. San Antonio comes right down to Maine. David Robinson.
A little bit farther out for Del Negro. Abel's giving him the chance to shoot out of the slump, and I guess you can do that very early in the season.
Well, if you're a shooter, you gotta let your shooter shoot the basketball. And it's only one way you can end your slump. It's by shooting the basketball.
Strong drive by West. The difference for San Antonio, they have David Robinson to come over and alter the shot. Minnesota doesn't have that.
Doug West beat his man, but David Robinson came over with the block.
Somebody might want to come out on Sean Elliott, or maybe not. Robinson from Minnesota, they got the point guard, Michael Williams, inside trying to board.
I mean, how can that happen?
Michael Williams completely lost. Yeah, we're getting about 6 chances on this possession. This looks like last year when the Wolves were one of the poorest rebounding teams in the league. Way too many chances.
A great quick move by David Robinson. I know the T-Wolves want to run the fast break, but they must get the rebound first.
San Antonio scores the first 5 of the second half.
What a nice pass by JR. JR, don't do it to me, baby.
He waited and waited until somebody came over in the help out, and all of a sudden Rooks had the dunk. Well, it's very difficult for Ryder to decide if Del Negro is going to hit those shots.
Oh, Doug West, nice end-to-end move. As you mentioned, Chad, Del Negro had not been shooting well, so the T-Wolves are gambling that he will continue his slump.
They want to get off that gamble right now. That's 3 straight, and the timeout will be taken by Blair, and I guarantee you that's the dominant portion of the dialogue right now. How do you stop Vinny Del Negro? It's a full timeout taken by Minnesota. 8:36 to go. The Spurs lead by 4.
Everything a man could ever want, but I just had to let her go.
She said, darling, we can work it out. I said, honey, I don't think so.
See, the two of us are not the same. We're as different as night and day.
Now there's pepperoni in the crust.
I gotta eat mine wrong way.
Crust first.
There's a new stuffed crust pizza from Pizza Hut with not just cheese, but pepperoni baked right into the crust.
I'm a little lonely, small price to pay for pepperoni.
You'll think you're in hoops heaven when you attend Midwest Sports Channel's Youth Basketball Clinic, brought to you by the Minnesota Timberwolves. The clinic takes place at the Metrodome Saturday, December 16th at 4 p.m. before the Gophers California Bears men's basketball game. You'll receive a ticket to a Timberwolves game against Cleveland December 15th or Philadelphia December 17th. The clinic will be hosted by ex-Gophers Kevin McHale and Flip Saunders, along with other former Gopher standouts. Call 673-1645 to be a part of the Timberwolves and MSC team, your ultimate sports connection.
Vinny Del Negro did not make a field goal attempt. 5 opportunities in the first half. Very different here in the second try.
Pick and roll. Sean Rooks, you're too far back. You must be up there to contest that shot earlier.
Let's see how Blair counters it when the Wolves are on defense. And now an illegal screen whistled against Michael Williams, their point guard. And the frustration of Blair is shown as he's looking at it. One of our officials, William Kennedy and Larry Onas, are officials tonight. Foul, by the way, against Michael Williams is his 4th. Wait and see if Del Negro comes over. Well, it doesn't matter if David Robinson gets the ball that deep inside.
Well, Gugliotta is trying to front David Robinson, and that's a no-no. Stay behind David Robinson, and you know your teammates are going to help you out. Googs is trying to front him, and David Robinson calls for the ball at the corner of the backboard. Googs must stay behind David Robinson so his teammates will have a chance to come over and double team.
Free throw made by Robinson. Flip Saunders watching this game behind the Wolves bench. Seeing that Bill Blair just sat down. Michael Williams, no choice on it. Michael Williams with his 4th foul. Terry Porter back in. David Robinson, the last 2 seasons, has led the NBA in free throw attempts made. And off to another good start. In that particular department this evening, he's 7 of 10. Boy, 3 guys come over to help out Robinson. That surprised me.
That didn't surprise me because they don't want David Robinson to pick up that 4th foul.
Yeah, very good point, Trent. A little bit different if he's got 2 fouls, right?
Right. Oh, what quickness for a big man. That's what we talked about. Sean Rooks will have a different problem with David Robinson. David Robinson out about 12 to 15 feet, shows him the ball fake, and puts the ball on the floor. He's very good at that, using his speed and quickness against bigger and slower centers.
Well, here's where he's different from any of the elite centers. Hakeem is unbelievably quick, but he does the majority of his work a little bit closer, and many times it's back to the basket, and O'Neal just overpowers you, right?
Well, Shaq just uses that 340 pounds that he has and just clears everybody out the way. But David is more of a finesse type of a center. He likes to use his speed and quickness and drive the ball to the basket around centers.
He's up to 21 points and 7 rebounds. And he just took that one right away from Doug West, who had the inside position. Wolves have already called 1 timeout. And now they're getting beat real bad on the boards. That is the major difference, the 2 big differences in the second half, rebounding and Vinny Del Negro.
The T-Wolves look like the team that is tired and looks like the team that played last night. The Spurs are a lot more aggressive, and they seem to be much fresher than the T-Wolves.
And clearly the intent in this possession to see what Gugliotta can do. Double team and the foul called on Sean Haley Christian watching from the other end.
You got to recognize when you're being double teamed, that means that one of your teammates must be open on the opposite side of the floor, and you have got to pass the ball around the horn quickly.
Riders' first paid hoop of the second half. Juniors up to 13, matching West. Gugliotta leads with 16. San Antonio now with 4 of their 5 starters in double figures. Herrera yet to score. And that's who they're looking for right now. You know, maybe that's why he hasn't scored. Hey, Trent, I'm going to play basketball in this game. That's the type of move you'll see from me in about an hour and a half.
Oh, Chad, you know what? I would like you better.
Oh man, that was shaky looking. If anybody calls me the Amigo playing tonight, I'll know it's not a compliment. That's Herrera's nickname. It might look like the Amigo a couple times.
Gould just took a swipe at Herrera.
Illegal shouted out by a couple San Antonio players. David's going to get it back somehow, you would think.
Here are 2 All-Stars playing
just a two-man game, right?
Two-man basketball.
Who's going to step up offensively for Minnesota? Robinson to help out. Fortunate
that Del Negro has cooled off for a second.
Absolutely. Ow. Man. Hard. And they stop play right away. Tom Gugliotta slashing from the wing. He came down very hard. And the concern is for Tom Gugliotta, and this is why. The last time down courts, while Gugliotta is down, Doug West has been ejected from the game. Doug West protesting the non-call, and Doug was thrown out for his reaction to this play. Here, Tom Gugliotta go down as our camera panned up to the hoop. We'll come back. It looked like it was going to be a full timeout taken by Minnesota. Now it's going to be a 20. We got the dancers out there. The players don't want to go away. The Wolves are trying to say that this is only a 20-second timeout. The officials are trying to step in and clear everything up while they're doing that. You can see Tom Gugliotta and Chris Palmer helping him out. Here's another look, better angle on Googs.
You got to call something on that play there.
Oh, man.
It seems like David Robinson kind of put his hip into Googs. That should have been the 4th foul on David Robinson.
Yeah. Number 1, the concern is for Gugliotta. Yes, he's okay. Number 2, you're right, the foul would have been on Robinson. And then number 3, Doug West protests the call, and Doug is done for the night. And here's a night where Doug is always important, but it's not even more. He's playing well, and Leighton are done.
Now you lose another key player on your team. Now you have to find someone else to come in and replace Doug West.
Here is the confusion. They're trying to determine who called the timeout. Mike Schuler and Chris Palmer are up there right now. And I believe, Trent, they're saying we did not call this timeout. Michelle Tafoya listening in. She's kind of lurking. There's Michelle listening in. So Michelle will give us a report. Remember, Minnesota's already used a timeout here. And close games were a long way from the final couple of minutes where a lot of timeouts are called. But those timeouts could matter an awful lot.
Really, Chad, because you don't want to waste precious timeouts now because you might need them late in the game.
All right, Michelle was listening in. What do they have for us, Michelle?
It's actually kind of amusing over here because at the scorer's table, the refs were trying to compensate for what they did. They were saying that the Wolves called a 20-second timeout. The Wolves were saying they didn't. Then they said, oh, well, okay, it's an injury timeout. And they said, well, what was the injury? Well, Gugliotta was down. Lots of confusion, and it looks like a couple of inexperienced refs trying to make good on a call that they screwed up. Chad?
Yeah, Michelle with the right call, the officials with their own call.
Did Michelle call the timeout?
I think Michelle did call the timeout. Let's blame Limo. William Kennedy, Larry Otis, Doug West done, ejected, a little bit more than 5 minutes to go in this quarter. Terry Porter, Kevin Garnett, Sean Rooks, J.R. Reiner, and Tom Gugliotta. Clean knockaway by Googs. You would think here for the next 30 seconds or so, Minnesota might get a call or two.
They should. That was good defense by Tommy Googs, moving his feet very well.
Good recognition by Avery Johnson, knowing the shot clock was at 3.
That's what a good point guard would do. Always in control of the flow of the game.
Lead goes to 12. The Spurs' biggest of the night. Gugliata with the elbow right. Del Negro's face.
That was a big basket for the T-Wolves.
Somebody has to get inside. Offensive rebounding galore for the Spurs.
That's why this lead is as big as it is, because the Spurs have owned the offensive boards.
Turnover on Minnesota. Offensive rebounding has become a big part of this second half. Early on, it was rebounding and Del Negro. The big thing overall, number one, has been the extra opportunities for San Antonio.
Because the T-Wolves' first initial defense is very good. They are stopping the Spurs on the first chance, but giving up second and third chances to a talented team like the Spurs is only going to kill you.
David Robinson wanted the lob from J.R. Reed, and they missed it.
Somebody popped Sean Elliott in the mouth.
I think that was Kevin Garnett with the inadvertent slap.
David Robinson can do so many things. Shoot the jumper, take the ball to the basket, block shots, rebound.
Foul will be called on Reed on the drive. Minnesota would love to see it on David Robinson, who was waiting inside. So maybe Kevin Garnett can be the player to assert himself for Minnesota offensively.
If you look at the Spurs team in the second quarter, when David Robinson picked up his third foul, compared to the team here in the third quarter with David Robinson on the floor, it's like night and day.
Well, the good thing so far about this third quarter, the cookies we were given during the first time out. That's the only good thing so far. We got to give a few more of those cookies, too.
What's the day? Go, Dave.
Boy, he's getting a lot of looks in this quarter.
That's what a good point guard would do. He would make sure his shooter keeps shooting the basketball so he can find his confidence.
9 field goal attempts in the quarter. This, for Vinny Del Negro, is his third or fourth option.
They need Vinny Del Negro outside shooting to be an effective team.
Foul is on David Robinson, his fourth. Bob Hill will face the dilemma. Leading by 14, you would think they'd sit him down. When we come back, we'll have the information.
There's a sport utility vehicle out there that can make those harsh Heartland winters a little better. It's the 96 Chevy Blazer 4x4. With an exclusive driver control system, it helps you to adapt to any road under any condition. And the low lease price of $349 a month for 24 months makes it easier to prepare for winter. To learn more about this smart lease by GMAC, just call 1-800-32-SMART. The 96 Chevy Blazer from Chevy Trucks, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road. Only at your Heartland Chevrolet Geo dealers.
The Maglite flashlight is a work of art that works. A Maglite flashlight is the brilliant gift idea for any occasion.
Hey, Dog, I need $1. Oh, sorry, dude. I spent my last buck on these burgers from Hardee's.
I know, that's why I need $1.
Ooh! There? Coach's lucky dollar.
Now get 2 burgers from Hardee's for just $1, with 66% more beef than McDonald's. 2 burgers with lots of hot, juicy beef taste for just $1.
I don't know, Lou.
Don't worry, I left him my lucky IOU.
Fresh from the kitchen at Hardee's.
And for breakfast, get 2 apple cinnamon raisin biscuits for just 99 cents.
Be there when the Minnesota Golden Gophers take on the Illinois Illini. Saturday at 10 on MSC, your Gopher football connection. This is MSC.
Well, now to most of you, the celebrity might be Todd Stussy, John Jarek, just barely in the corner screen. But our celebrity is the man wearing the cap, Sammy Sigelman. Oh, and of course, Sammy leaves right on cue. Sammy, a high-placed executive with KFA and MSC. I think he's pretty much just acting as the bartender tonight for some unknown reason.
Sam is in the house.
All right, plenty of good seats remain for the Wolves game coming up against Utah on Saturday, November 18th. Also make the Timberwolves part of your Thanksgiving holiday plans. Come to the Target Center Wednesday, November 22nd, Minnesota and Seattle. And then Friday, November 24th, Penny Hardaway and the Magic. 4 tickets. You see the number right there, 989-5151. We might have to work in a Sam Sigelman drop into every concert. I know the public is calling for it. In fact, there's a demand. Our phone lines have been flooded already. Rodman is down. Will Perdue in. He was dogging you a little bit at halftime, I might add.
I love Will. But Will is not my favorite player.
Yeah, Sam Cassell, you established as your favorite player. He looked pretty good Saturday night against the Wolves for the Rockets. Michelle Tapoya telling us during the break that Bill Blair's emphasis during the timeout was push the ball, be quick, just like you were in the first half. And we'll wait and see if there is a difference in the last 2 minutes.
Well, this is a key moment in the game right now with David Robinson going to the bench with his 4th foul. Let's see if the Timberwolves can make up some ground.
Now, over the limit. So free throws will be attempted. J.R. Reed will shoot him. J.R. Reed, former number 5 overall pick, 1989 draft. Chuck Person, also a lottery pick. He'll come in after this first free throw. J.R. Reed, picked by Charlotte, didn't work out there. Traded to San Antonio, sometimes a starter. Last year depended upon the mood, the hair color, the wisdom of Dennis Rodman. Starting the year as a starter. And now talking with Bob Hill and some other people. I think he's going to be on the bench for a while and start Carl Herrera.
Well, J.R. Reed's biggest improvement is that he's gotten himself in basketball shape.
Now, they're trying to go quick, but that was a forced possession and an ugly one.
That was not a good decision by TP.
That was a horrible possession by Minnesota. Foul on Mitchell. In shape. You forget. Oh my, they called this on J.R. Reed. I don't think anybody saw that. Oh man. Bulls will take that one. Now they got to get a hoop. Look at how quick Garnett was up the second time.
Up and down, second and third chances with those long arms he has.
Avery, well aware of his size deficiency inside, saying, I'm not putting up this shot just to get it blocked. Partially blocked by Garnett. They finished the first half on a good run. Can they do the same here in the third quarter? No call. And then it's on Will Perdue, and that's his 4th.
Everybody is in foul trouble tonight.
That's right. I think Bob Hill is in foul trouble.
Chad, you and I might be in foul trouble.
Well, I know Carl Herrera, he's having some offensive problems. Now Garnett with the defense, that's what he did a little bit last week against the Lakers.
He's got those long arms. Goose attacking the basket very strong. Mark Davis seeing Will Perdue step out. He said, hey, I can use my foot speed against Will.
I think Mark Davis said, Googs, get down. I'm having a tough enough time making shots already. It's a little tougher when you're 6'10" bodies swinging it back and forth. All right, Cadillac Anderson, about the 78 model. Cadillac looked like he needed a tune-up on that play as Terry Porter blew by him.
Cadillac.
Didn't he pick up that nickname? Wasn't he like riding a bike through school in Houston? Isn't that how he picked up the nickname Cadillac? He was at Houston like in the 40s. I can't even remember the origin of this nickname.
I don't know where Cadillac came from.
He was with San Antonio earlier in his career, then went overseas. We're seeing this more. Guys are going overseas, making a little bit of money. They like that playing once a week, tax-free. We got to get that deal, by the way, so I can get it over here.
Yeah, we need to broadcast some games overseas.
Oh, yeah, we take that, too. I was talking about that tax-exempt status of broadcasting.
It's the same thing. You know, and you get a car, you get an apartment.
I think maybe the budget resolution, that might be a key component.
You get first-class trip on the Concorde.
Oh, we'll take this deal. This may be our final telecast on MSC. You'll have some new broadcasters for the Atlanta game next month. Oh, jeez. Chucky, that was ugly.
Now, that was a brick. Oh, God, that!
The long arms and just angled it inside.
Look at him, he's talking to Chuck. Look at him.
He should be talking to Chuck after his last performance. And I think I'm talking about Chuck's performance, not Kevin's. From 28. And Garnett wants it back. Let's see if they'll find Kevin Garnett here. Yes, they do.
Oh, my. Look at that young fella. Look at him. He's definitely into the game. I like his confidence.
Chuck Person, a supreme trash dunker, but this battle clearly to Kevin Garnett.
No doubt about it. TP finds a young man taking the ball strong to the basket.
Mark Davis and Kevin Garnett with a spark at the end of the first half. Now here we go. Here's Kevin Garnett looking for Chuck the other way.
Say, Chuck, where are you, baby? I'm on the boards. Where are you?
The crowd gets involved as the third quarter ends. He is the reason why this place rises up. The fourth might be interesting. Right now the deficit is 7.
How does Gopher basketball look this season? Watch as they take on Marathon Oil in exhibition play. Thursday night at 7, only on MSC, your Gopher basketball connection.
Hey, Dan. What's wrong?
Hey, Grant. Bad show. Hair looked bad, teleprompter went down, made some mistakes on some highlights.
I got something to cheer you up.
Thanks, Grant. Appreciate that.
No problem, man.
Nobody does it like you, the way that you do. Nobody's got the power to please me.
The new Hoover Steam Vac Deluxe deep cleans high traffic areas better than ever. With exclusive 5-brush agitation, it washes, extracts, deep cleans, and it leaves carpets twice as dry as our leading power brush competitor.
Hoover, nobody does it like you.
I went to National Camera and Video today. Boy, was I surprised. They have a huge selection of name brand TVs, and they're really helpful, just like when I bought my camera. What really surprised me were the prices. They're just as good as the superstores. Because National is part of a billion-dollar buying group.
See our Sony digital satellite system. Enjoy great sports programming on over 100 channels.
National Camera and Video gave me the service I wanted, including free delivery.
National Camera and Video. If you like us for cameras, you'll love us for TVs.
Welcome back to Target Center. The Wolves trail by 7 in the huddle just now. It was the young man, Kevin Garnett, who was the liveliest of all, saying, "This is it right here, you guys. This is it right here." Was very happy with his play, and this team was happy with him. But Bill Blair wants this team now to exploit the mismatch against Avery Johnson. He said Johnson cannot run the floor, so push the ball on him, push the ball on him. And Chad, I cleaned up the language for that a little bit.
Oh, I think the salty sea captain can be at a little higher level. Unfortunately, Michelle did that. David Robinson went down, Trent, and all of a sudden they started attacking the basket.
This is a different San Antonio team without that man, Mr. Robinson.
8-1 run for Minnesota. How about 10-1?
Nice offensive set. Coming down and getting the shot they wanted. Using great patience on that sequence.
2 rookies, 3 veterans. Davis is on Del Negro. Garnett is on Person, and the foul is on Terry Porter. Michelle Tafoya talked about Bill Blair reacting to Avery Johnson. Doc Rivers in. I don't think Bill agreed with this call. Get a shot at Bill off this. Yeah, we'll clean up that dialogue also. Doc Rivers nowhere to go when he went up.
If you look at this San Antonio crew on the floor now, who can score for you? Which guy can you go to get some offensive punch?
You tell me. Who is it?
Nobody.
Not Chuck Person, Vinny Del Negro, are they the options?
These guys have to rely on each other to get guys open.
Hip check by Mark Davis.
There's no individual player now who can create his own offense. Chuck Person is their best scorer, but the T-Wolves can take advantage of this right now because they can play straight up defense and they don't have to rotate and double team and triple team.
And now they're going to return the favor. Illegal screen on Person. Well, if you just joined us, there was a point in the first half where the biggest emphasis for the officials was Kevin Garnett's shorts. I'm glad we're past this point. You know, let's just see what happens in the game. Shorts, the tops I think are fine at this point. Wolves on a 10-1 run. Sam Mitchell keeps it alive.
Nice hustle by Sam Mitchell, keeping that ball alive, giving his team another opportunity.
Chad Hartman, Trent Tucker, Michelle Tafoya here on MSC at the Target Center. ISO for the rookie, and he loses it. He beat him on the first step, but he can't finish right now.
That was great team help by the San Antonio Spurs.
Herrera finally scores. You like that move by Vinny?
That was a nice move by Vinny. He
Little head
in and out and came back. Oh, Vinny.
Garnett wants the ISO against Cadillac.
Nice
no
pass. That's a big field goal. Nice pass by Kevin Garnett. TP knocking down the big 3.
Robinson down the whole time. Remember, the primary backup center, Will Purdue, also sitting. Sean Elliott on the bench to go along with the 2 previous players we mentioned.
Oh! That is a nice move by Del Negro.
No chance. Even if he catches the ball, where's he going?
Why? I mean, he can't score. He can't score. I know Bill Blair wants his team to push the ball, but you have to make good decisions. You have to know when to push the ball and when not to push the ball.
Vinny Del Negro coming alive in the second half. All 16 after the first 24 minutes. Off of San Antonio. Now Trent with Gugliotta sitting down, Ryder sitting down. Who scores for Minnesota?
I would love to see Kevin Garnett become more of a focal point in the offense.
They'll post him up.
Are you kidding me, Chad? Look at this young man.
Kevin Garnett, 17 points, 6 rebounds. MSC home telecast.
And he might like Chuck Person guarding him.
Well, he's going to be a little bit disappointed then because Bob Hill just made 3 changes, and most importantly, David Robinson back in.
He's just rising up over Carl Herrera, knowing that no one can block his shot.
It's a little known fact that Kevin Garnett was a large part of MSC taking over. He felt like he could be a better scorer here. Yeah, I thought I tried.
He feels at home here.
Yeah. Thank God the shorts are too far down, else the game would have to be stopped again. Sam Mitchell's on David Robinson.
Oh!
By the time Rooks came over on the help out, he was right underneath the hoop.
He comes right in and makes something happen.
Everybody's on one side.
Good move by Sean Rooks. If he can get that 5th foul on David Robinson, it would be very crucial. So Sean Rooks must attack David Robinson every time he can.
Sam Mitchell, 5 inches shorter. As tough as they get, and he's guarding David Robinson. Now it's Garnett. MVP gets a 19-year-old. And he played great defense. They're going to let him play on.